I hereby call the order. Cindy, would you like to call roll?
Bracken.
Here.
Smith. Here. Linda.
Here.
Everybody's in attendance. Line item number 3. Has everyone on the board had a chance to look at the past meeting minutes from our April 13th meeting? Karen makes me nervous, like I missed something.
Well, I looked at these, but I usually always bring my own copy and I forgot. You know me,
She makes her notes.
I always have little notes on everything.
Regarding number 3 with Jeff Brown, did we hear anything back from our attorney?
He
Definitively.
said we need to have a public hearing to make sure that there's not any neighbor disputes or whatever, and that he gave me the timeline of that. And did we email him back to ask if we could have that during a regular meeting? And he
I
probably
emailed him back and
hasn't.
he was out of town,
So
so.
we haven't heard if we can do it at like the same day as a regular meeting, if it can be within, or if I need to separate it up. I wasn't sure on that. I'm
Pretty
get
sure
clear.
he told me that it can be done at a regular meeting.
So I just want some clarification to make sure that I get it done and worded right.
Okay.
But because there's like 15 days for notification, 20 days for this, and then so I want to make sure I get the timeline down. But he did say that the past ordinance that we do have when we rezoned Shane Morrison's shop is what we would use as the template for his ordinance whenever we did approve it.
Okay, cool.
So,
Can I get a motion to approve the past meeting minutes from April 13th?
I'll make a motion.
I second it.
Or are you waiting for me to say?
Yes.
Bracken,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Galindo.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Line item number 4, discussion and take action on POs for general fire and ambulance funds.
I wanted to let you all know, Comp Source, the reason it's as high as it is, they went to a new billing cycle to where they went to installments based off of the previous year's pay-ins and payouts.
So this is just an average.
This is the first installment of like $900 plus the last month's normal billing that we would have had based off of last month's payroll, because it's a payroll-based premium, and the first installment. So it's kind of like the deposit, last month's billing, and the first installment of this one. There'll be 7 or 8 more installments of only $250 some, which is our normal, right around our normal billing, but they went to a new system this year.
There's been concern that ComSource is too subsidized by the legislature, but given what the town pays and I pay, I can't imagine how they're not pretty well off.
Is this what you're telling me?
Mhm.
Yes. We could look in
Yeah,
OMAG.
sound familiar?
Has workman's comp as
That's
well.
expensive.
We could look into, OMAG has workman's comp as well. We could look into what the difference in coverage and premium would be with them.
OMAG and who else?
I just know OMAG, we just got a deal,
Oh, okay.
it's, they have it, there's other providers, but, I know CompSource, I think the school used to use CompSource, I'm not sure if they still do or not, but, or if they were just one of the ones that they looked at for contract purposes.
Because they tear their clothes when they're working.
OMAG might be a good alternative to look at,
Can ask them for some
yeah.
comparisons and policies and prices. Because like I said, it used to be salary based. I would always turn in each month the gross pay and they would take the percentage and put it into their formula to give us the premium, so,
That covers the firemen and the ambulance too.
yeah,
There's a lot of people on it.
yeah. But since they're volunteer, they're not taken into consideration in the like I say, it's payroll based premium, so. We don't have to take, there's not a salary for
And I was just asking, this, the clothing allowance, is that because do we provide shirts like town shirts or?
We used to do, oh gosh, who was it? UniFirst? Is that who the town uses? And, Ed would take his jeans down to the county and they would never pick them up and they would never drop them off. And so we came to an agreement that it was cheaper after I figured up what we were spending and what he was actually getting, and he was actually wearing his own clothes anyway, to give him a $250 a year clothing allowance for shoes and jeans, and because he never wore the shirts anyway, because I mean, we don't have to have fire retardant or anything like that, so nothing special. And he was able to go and purchase whatever he wanted that fit, and so we just kind of kept that for the maintenance, that way they can get what they.
And on top of that, when we told them that they weren't picking up or dropping off any uniforms, they wouldn't release us from a year contract that was
It was a
signed by.
multiple year contract, they said, in which we cannot enter into multiple year contracts.
Wow.
So, with a provider such as that, so. We got out of that. Without having to pay the full contract price out. Now,
What are stamps? Is that hand stamps for the Metro? Shelley also remember?
for thank yous, postage for thank yous they sent out for the donors,
Oh.
sponsors,
Postage stamp?
yes.
I'd like Billy Graham, I'd just tell him to not send me all that stuff and use that money for something better.
They gotta thank them or they won't donate again next year.
Sounds familiar. You didn't send me a thank you card, I ain't giving you no money next year.
Some people are like that.
Okay, I make a motion to approve the POs for the general fire and ambulance funds, postage stamps and all. Yes.
I'll second that.
Is our air conditioner on?
They're usually cold.
That's when it's winter.
It's like, it's 100 out.
She's saving, making up for them stamps on me.
Bracken,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Gallagher,
Yes.
motion passed.
I won't stink halfway through the meeting, it's bad.
That's
Line item number 5, discussion on events and activities to be entered into the Oklahoma Magazine website. So, I don't know if I opened a can of worms with this one or not, but
You did, I looked
I
at it.
think there was something on our training, our online training that had a link to Oklahoma Magazine website, and if municipalities had something that they wanted to enter in there, like events or something, Oklahoma Magazine wanted that to put in their directory. And I got me to thinking about not only Oklahoma Magazine, but Red Carpet Country and all the other listings and directories that a lot of times it seems like we're not in anymore. And I guess it's got on the agenda to see why.
Chamber people used to put that stuff in there. Well, I looked at that one specifically, and it wanted names, dates, costs, contact numbers, all that stuff. So that would be like for the rodeo, somebody from the chamber would need to do that, or the Bat Cave, or Hallmaster Caverns, they need to do that.
But Don and I were talking like putting the mud run on there or anything, you know, like we have that on there.
Specific.
Yeah.
So maybe, could we just put links to their websites, like on there?
They're, well,
They're wanting the directory information, not
They don't want to go in there.
cross-linking
Oh.
as much.
they did ask for a website on that form, but, I mean, they wanted like cost per event and contact name and number and I figure if it's chamber stuff, then that's their deal.
Well, a lot of that too, I know they charge fees, some of that isn't free. I think Red Carpet Country, don't they charge?
You charge a lot for your magazine.
I think they do too. I remember something about that.
That's one other place I know is like the Pioneer Teletopics in the back has, so we might, you know, like, when we know events are coming up, let Pioneer know. I mean, find out who we need to, I'm sure you just email them and let them know, but we would need to know the contact for that, because I know they have it in the back. And then that,
Electric companies called Oklahoma Living.
yeah, I'll say the, Northwest or Electric Cooperative Magazine, that one has events.
Does Alfalfa Electric have anything like that?
They, not in their, like, the newsletter that comes out with their bill.
But that great big, big oversized magazine.
Yeah, like the big cooperative,
Yeah,
like
it's
the
the
major
Oklahoma.
cooperatives, yeah. Kind of covers all the electric companies and the.
So do we need, I mean, it's not gonna be a very long list, do we need to make a short list of things that the town should promote? Or is that municipal government's role?
Well, it helps ourselves, does
Well, yeah, I agree with that.
People do come to town. But I think like the major, like the back keys and that, we might send them, maybe just send them a letter that says, you know, we've discovered this, thought it might be, you know, if you wanted to put your information on it, do something like that, introduce them to that website and tell them this is where you can go to put your information to help, you know, the area and the community and stuff like that. But then, I know it happens out at the caves, what is it, Outdoor Day? It's like, it's put on by the OSU Extension.
The conservation thing?
Yeah.
The outdoor classroom?
No, it's in the summer. It's the one the girls had when they had their accident last year. They were going back
I
home.
don't remember what that one was called, but
But
yeah.
it was it's like the outdoor classroom day, which goes out to like the area can come to it, but it's at the caves. And I think it's put on through the OSU Extension Center, because Greg, what's Greg's last name? You know what I'm talking about, the Village Extension
Oh.
office.
Should
Is
know.
Van
It begins
just-
with an H.
It just totally went out
I've
of my
talked to him
head.
too, and I can't tell you.
Greg Heifel, yes, Greg Heifel. You might call him and have him send a flyer and we could put that information, or let him know that he can put that information out there for stuff. But I mean, because that's open to the public. But I don't know that they would advertise, you know, that event, or if the caves would. But I mean, we could, because I mean, people are gonna pass through here to get there. And it's free, so there's not much information to. I'll say too late. But
I don't wanna
Other
overstep our
events.
bounds as a town.
no, but like I say, I think if maybe we send a letter out. Your Alexa's trying to kick it.
Said something.
Although there's a fight outside.
She's spying on us.
But if we send a letter maybe to the caves or, you know, whatever, and say, here's a website to help promote your event that we've come across, you know. If you would like for us to input your information, please send us the information needed. You can do it. If not, please feel free to take the information and use it to your,
So you want me to like send it to Tricia for the chamber and Cam maybe for the caves?
yeah. And that way, at least we're letting them know of something like,
And in the
an
meantime-
offering, like I said, we're offering, and then that way if they want help,
So the way the chamber is set up or was set up or bylaw set up or whatever, is there a contact person that's kind of the
It
marketing
depends on
person
the-
or
It
who?
depends on the event.
pushes
Ain't more
out?
than anything.
because you have your rodeo committee, and then you have your events, like your Santa Day committee people, I mean, it's.
So, yeah.
Last
But who
one I went to, it
contacts the
was-
Parks and Recreation and the tourism and the state commerce department and all that to try to promote and push and sell freedom?
You would
I
think it
don't
would be the
think
president and
that's-
vice president,
I
but,
don't think that's a municipality's
yeah,
deal to do, but there needs to be
but I
at
don't
least
think
the
the
organization that,
current members of these organizations don't know that's out there.
We can just let them know that that magazine's out there, and they want this
Right.
information, and they can take care of their deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell them, we found this, we're gonna put municipalities' events, like the mud run, for example, on there so that people know what's coming up and just want to let you know to help.
Because once you start doing it for one, you're gonna have to do it for everybody that has an event anywhere. We could have a street event and say, you know, I want this put on there, and it's just an
Just letting
idea.
people know, and maybe we could have one put something in the paper.
Sure.
so besides the local press, of course, what are some of the preeminent bodies in Alva and Woods County that promote tourism?
Well, I'm very, how shall I say, discouraged. Every now and then, Kay Decker goes to the Maygarden Park thing and says, we need to spend $4,000 to build a website. And somebody else goes to the tourism committee, we need $6,000 to build a website. And the chamber has a website. But if you go look at all of those websites, generally they're terribly out of date. And nobody wants to, you know, the first month is pretty exciting to put stuff on, but the second and third, you sort of forget about it because you got overrun by your own problems.
Yeah, I put that on there last year.
Yeah, and indeed, I bet if you go look at those websites I announced, you will see things that's way out of date. And that's the problem. If you got some hobbyist in town that would love to sit home and do that, hey, that's a blessing. But in general, I don't see the employees of the city or school. We at the newspaper, for about 2 years, maintain the school's website, because we maintain our own website, we spend about 4 hours a day maintaining our own website. And I think we were charging a couple hundred a month to do that, and some new software system came through to the schools and said, hey, we'll give you a free website. Well, I don't blame them for saving that money. And we did the hospital website until just March of this year, because they were terribly out of date all the time. Well, they hired a new IT guy, network guy, who has web experience, so Candace wrote me and said, hey, he can do it at part of his pay, so a little service we were providing there. But that, because and I'm not soliciting your business with this little speech, I'm just saying that, boy, it seems like every entity that builds a website has trouble keeping it up to date. And so if you guys make the offer to say, if you want us to communicate this to the Oklahoma Tourism Magazine or the Northwestern website or whatever, you need to make it, or you're really going to do it and faithfully, or you're going to see the out-of-date stuff and be embarrassed by it.
So a lot of upkeep.
It's a lot of upkeep. It's amazing. And then you also run into a little bit of a political problem, and we've experienced that in handling school and hospital website. Well, we had an event, you didn't put it on there. We didn't know about it.
Yeah,
Getting beat up for things we're willing to do, but nobody bothered to tell us. Then they noticed after the event it wasn't there.
Yeah.
And so it's sort of a can of worms a little bit. I think it's admirable that you guys want to help the tourism around here. Just be aware of what you're stepping into.
I think just letting these people know that it's out there and they can put their own
I
stuff
think
in there.
that's a smart thing.
Yeah,
But
And then we made the attempt.
right.
And then we're putting ours on there. Here's a source of advertising for you.
I think
Or regional.
Right.
I don't know if I have it up there. I still think, kind of related to what Lynn was saying, that the town does need to get the website up. They just have a link or something where you can open the ordinance and view them online, something that has all of our rates online, something that has a contact list and a contact form, an address and like our RV parks and rates and that kind of thing. And maybe some simple listings in there, like rodeo third weekend of August, and have a widget on there where you can click and it sends it to the chamber's website, and have it cross-linked with some organizations in Oklahoma, but not anything that we have to
Maintain. It's like their job.
update so much.
Put our
Like
hours
yours.
on there and our, maybe our dates closed for the first of the year or something for the whole year and.
And our holiday schedule.
I think there are several Freedom Town websites up. The YP.com, the Yellow Pages, they would like for you to sell your Yellow Page, but nonetheless, they offer free. Then there's Yelp, I believe. And I was sitting out here one day early, didn't even do anything, sort of looked up, and they had the street address and the phone number of this office, but it didn't have much else, and so there are several free websites out there. If you just send them the stuff, they'll leave with it information.
Well, that's what we're all going to is.
Free stuff, yeah.
Free stuff and web, yeah.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw Freedom Facebook page.
They're out
Yeah.
there. Everything on it. Miranda
We
was the last
think
one
you
that
can't
said-
ever find it if you're looking
I
for
know.
it.
Yeah, and
And
that-
if it's
that's
set up
true.
by someone who's not here anymore,
You can't get into it and change it.
and I think there's more than one.
I changed the password. But if you type in Freedom Oklahoma, you may get something different.
Yeah, you usually end up with that lovely organization.
Now, if you want publicity for tourism, connect the organization Freedom Oklahoma with the town of Freedom Oklahoma. And
Some of the right type of publicity. You want it though.
you go to USA Today and everything.
Yeah.
Washington.
and then go, whoops, wrong place.
I think you do some research before you named your organization.
It's like, we can't do anything about it.
We can, it's trademark infringement, but like I said, do you want all of that media attention?
Are we trademarked?
I don't think
We're
you
not.
can take Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania and call your organization Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
If you buy it out, I think you can, it's like a website.
Yeah,
By the
I think
domain.
he's
You're
right.
talking about the Freedom website that's,
I'm not talking about a website.
The one
I'm
that
talking
Oklahoma
about-
City-
I think it works the same, if you buy like the rights to it, you can.
LGBTQ group.
A very political website that's taken the town named Freedom,
Mhm.
and I think it's Freedom, and they're very controversial and not good for you guys.
I do not watch the news.
I haven't seen that. The reason I was asking that is years ago, the chamber had a website that was Freedom Oklahoma.
Rodeo.
Yes,
FreedomRodeo.com.
It
The
failed
domain,
the-
yeah.
to get paid, and a porn site picked it up. So we're giving out cups and stuff with the website on it, when we found out that, so someone else had got the website, yeah.
Yep.
So they ended up throwing away a bunch of stuff.
It's, you type it in now, it goes to the rodeo.
I think that one, yeah, it had a different Oklahoma or something.
Yeah, that was tough.
So do we need to take, well, I guess we're discussing it, aren't we?
There's no action, it's just discussion.
I mean, I don't think it's the town's responsibility, I guess, if we want to, but even like the mud run and stuff, that would be the promoters of the mud run that would
Yeah,
be going out and marketing that event, just like the rodeo is under the banner of the chamber.
Well, Mud Run's kind of under the town since it's the fire department ambulance.
Okay,
so-
we're putting you in charge of it next year.
Well, I could put the event on that.
Don, we can delegate. Cause I don't wanna, I mean, that's somewhat under the town, but it's its own,
They have a pretty good presentation on Google, a picture of the main drag, and tells what the motel rates are. and- And it sends you to Wikipedia. The history of, that's not too bad.
Get
It's
somebody
great.
to update that, because I'm sure it's not all right.
Oh, it shows the
Yeah,
Cimarron
I know.
Saloon, and it shows the store.
wow, you know how hard that is to get into the mud.
It shows the Cimarron Saloon up at a house.
Oh,
couple
yeah,
blocks
yeah,
north.
it's,
it might have been at one
I've
time.
had to report and report and report and report
I
and
wonder
report.
why Shane
to Google,
Morris
because
is
it
home
puts
is the
Main
only
Street
one.
on Leaky Lane.
Because that used to be Eagle Pass West Main Street.
Isn't that strange?
It was the original Main Street.
Huh.
No, Leaky
Somebody
Lane,
must have entered that.
Main Street.
Where it gets
you
dirt.
think they put Stewart's home instead of Shane's.
Oh, yeah. That's okay.
It's either
People don't
there
know
or
where I live. It's okay.
Brett
Looks like Shy's house,
No, Eagle Pass
Where was
used to
that?
be Main
the
Street.
saloon.
I wonder if it's got Becky's house.
Was it Main Street
Shane's
north
house.
of Main? I know it was Main Street going south.
I wonder
Main
who's standing
Street
out
right
there
in
in
front
front
of
of the
When was that?
All of Eagle Pass was originally Main Street.
I thought it was just here and
Must
then
have
when
been
it
before my
turned
time.
Who's standing out in
to
front of
go
the
south.
building there?
Those are saloon girls,
Oh,
I think. I shouldn't say that, because what if they're not?
this could help tourism quite a bit.
I can't tell for sure. It's in front of Prairie Stitches.
Right, Debbie and Jeannie.
I don't know who that was, but yeah.
Is that a Google picture from the Google
No, that
vehicle?
wouldn't have
It's
been, it
probably
would have been
from,
Lily, and then.
Just a picture from the brochure made in '95.
Yeah, pretty good looking saloon girl.
Yeah, Prairie Stitches was still there. Okay. Well, is everyone done discussing on item 5?
So we're just gonna kind of go ahead with our town website and keep
I
that.
can look up in all the free ones and just update information.
Freedom Oklahoma tells governor, we'll see you in court.
See, that's great publicity.
Chad, what'd you
We
do
need
now?
to start posting those headlines on our
Yeah.
Facebook page. And people are like, what? Oh, let's run off their coattails for a little bit.
Even court.
The Oklahoma Magazine website, so we're gonna just tell anybody about that? Tell the chamber about it and tell Pebbles about it and
The
whoever else
caves, yeah. For all the
in the
hurricanes.
tavern? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Line item 6, discussion action on the resolution for Oklahoma Municipal Assurance Group.
Where'd that go? There it is. This resolution will entitle us to voting rights because it is a self-insured assurance group for municipalities within the state of Oklahoma, which we already use them for our auto and liability and property. And we will soon look into workman's comp with them as well.
Okay.
This states that whereas the Interlocal Corporation Act of the Oklahoma statute enables municipal governments to cooperate with each other to make the most efficient use of their powers and resources on a basis of mutual advantage. And whereas this town of Freedom desires to secure protection, benefits, and indemnification relating to insurance or self-insurance for general and automobile liability, workers' compensation, and other insurance coverage for itself and its employees. And whereas the town of Freedom finds that the best and most efficient way of securing this protection is by cooperating with other municipalities, and whereas the agreement establishing the Oklahoma Municipal Assurance Group provides a basis for securing this protection for member municipalities. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the governing body of the town of Freedom to join other municipalities in Oklahoma Municipal Assurance Group, and be it further resolved that the town of Freedom hereby agrees to become a party to the agreement establishing the Oklahoma Municipal Assurance Group for the purposes and in consideration of the mutual covenants contained therein by adoption and execution of this resolution.
I'm
Adopted.
sorry, can you repeat all
By
that?
the
I
governing
started
body.
to say that, and I thought, no, that won't do that.
Which part? Which
No,
whereas
please
or
continue.
therefore? Adopted by the governing body of the town of Freedom this 14th day of May 2018. This will give us voting rights on anything they have on their board and what?
Surplus auctions.
Surplus auctions and other benefits and resources within OMAG and other group members.
I make a motion to approve.
A second.
Do we need to change the date on it to, you said the
14th of May. Yes.
14th, yeah.
I
okay.
did not wait till today when we had the meeting. You second? No. Brackett,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Galindo.
Yes.
Motion passed.
See, she said the motion passed.
Yeah, she did good.
Moving on, line item number 7, department reports. Mr. Maintenance Manager, do you have anything to report from the maintenance department?
Not very much. I'll pass this around. An inquiry of a gas monitor. Now, I don't think we need all these attachments that they have listed. I'm still waiting for more information on it. So the bottom line is, I asked for something about mid-range in price.
User friendly.
Uh,
User friendly.
Yeah. And I didn't want to get scalped, but I didn't want some piece of junk again either. I'm still waiting for more information. They're supposed to mail me more information by mail. Yeah, maybe Joe too.
Expecting that.
I wouldn't either.
I'll know more when I get, he was supposed to have sent this out last week and I was supposed to have it by now, but he obviously wrote something down wrong, so he called Dawn, asked for the mailing address again.
And this is the one that they send some kind of training or trainer out, or?
Yes, that's what Jay Martin is, what's written in the taker box there. He's the one who takes the order. He said he'll come out and show us how to use it and stuff, but they're pretty simple, basically.
How does this compare to what, who's doing our sniffing, PRC or?
Yeah. Now, Doug Harmon, he does leak surveys. He uses, he's set in his ways, so he's got a specific thing he likes to use. That particular instrument is about $12,000 to $16,000. But I talked to another guy at PRC, and he seems to be the only one that uses these particular monitors anymore. Everybody else uses different ones. So they referred me to this company to have them check it out, see what we want from them maybe. But like I said, I won't know much until I get the literature that he was supposed to have sent.
I don't know how you would even know what's on this quote unless you went to the class on that. Because it's.
Yeah.
I was reading that too, a lot of that stuff makes
Yeah,
no
it's
sense unless you
kinda-
see it in front
yeah.
of you.
I was gonna send it.
See, a lot of
I mean,
them
here's
are-
one attachment, obviously, because it's $332.
Yeah. And you need the hard case, I think that was on page 1, that's, gets all the, tells you how to use it basically, and a case for it and all that stuff. I think it was $81 or something like that. Like I say, until I get that literature, I really can't make any kind of decision on it. And he said that they're pretty user friendly and shouldn't be a problem, but I've been trying to nail these guys down on sending me something for ever since our last meeting.
How's the troubleshooting on that they say? Like if you have a issue with it, is it hard to troubleshoot, or is it like that one that we have, we can't figure out?
Well, you can learn how to calibrate it, or you can send it in to have it calibrated. But if you send it in to have it calibrated, it's $100 every time you send it in. But the way he was talking, calibrating's no big deal, but if you're not comfortable calibrating it yourself, send it in.
Calibrate, you mean when you put it in this stand and calibrate the unit?
Yeah, it's like zeroing out a scale, a weight scale. I mean, they've got to be calibrated, and they've got to be calibrated once every 6 months, I think, under regular use, you know. But I think it's got to be recalibrated every year, you know, if you don't use it a bunch. But I was also looking for, you know, something, a probe we could drive into the ground and check for leaks underground, like we did up there at school where Doug found that one substantial leak. But like I said, I don't know until I actually get to look at something, you know.
So this is quoted with the probe and the calibrator.
That I don't understand. Is that the way you read it? It looks like it is.
32-inch probe
Okay.
and filters and O-rings, the sensor, the case for it, and the calibration unit.
that stuff's a must, but the other attachments, I don't know until I see what the other attachments are, because we don't need,
You mean
carbon
other
monoxide
attachments on this,
detection, huh?
other attachments on here?
No, what, the bottom line is all the attachments is the price you get, right? The bottom line on the second page. That's all the attachments,
Everything
from the way I understand it.
So you just weren't sure. if
I
you
don't
needed
see
them, or-
attachments. I see that there's a calibration unit, and with that calibration unit, there has to be 2 bottles of flush gas on there, and I see a filter that goes with that.
The total for everything is this
Yeah.
number right here.
Yeah, but I mean, there's no attachments except a probe.
Yeah. Well, on the first page, I don't understand what, like you've got $81 price for it, you see
Mhm.
that? Now, some of them are like O2 and CO, and I don't think we need anything for carbon monoxide because it's not a confined space monitor. Like that piece of junk we have in the office.
So what do our consultants say when you tell them that you want a gas monitor that will do what our inspector that came out does? Do they give you any model or say we can help you with that, or they
No,
just
there's so
say?
many different models. And that's about the mid-range on these things. It's not the cheapest, but it's not by far the most expensive. Until I get the literature, I really don't know what they're talking about in some of the boxes there on the first page.
This just came today.
I'm allowed to write on this, aren't I?
Since he has.
I can print out another one from the email.
Shad's copy, Stuart's copy. What is the total of the quote?
33.
3220, 74.
EGW, is that the name of the company, or what was?
Yeah, EGW.
Okay.
Yeah, like Don said, we just got that today, so.
And then has some of the book pictures and descriptions.
Yeah,
and-
he's supposed to, he
Other
said he was gonna,
options later?
yeah, and send me a kit, literature and other options.